Okay, so let's spend some time on this. So let's be clear about some of the stuff. So Habermas is not accusing Klein of not making the distinction between fact and valid. Klein does make this difference, and Habermas is not claiming that he doesn't make this difference. So Habermas's whole critique is focused on Klein's conception of validity. And this is what he means when he say that Klein screens out all internal relations between what is de facto accepted as valid and what should have validity in the sense of a claim transcending local, temporal, and social limitation. So, what is this about? So, what he is focusing on is Klein's conception of validity. And what he's saying is that after making the distinction between validity and facticity, he doesn't make a further distinction. What is accepted as valid, what is accepted as valid here and now, and what is valid as such, what is valid in itself. Now it's important to be careful here, because as a true Kantian in his own way, Habermas is not saying that we have access to. So as a true Kantian, Habermas doesn't claim that we have any access to validity in itself. So it's, in a sense, it's a limit concept in Habermas, as thing in itself is in a sense limit concept, at least in certain contexts for Kant. So he's not saying that we have access to validity in itself, but what he is claiming is that we must have this limit concept in order not to. So what he's saying is that we must have, and these are my words, we must have this limit concept of validity in itself, so that our conception of validity is not collapsed into, or not reduced to, validity here and now, or a contextual validity. So actual validity is always contextual validity, but in order to avoid contextualism, what you need is, according to Habermas, connect this actual validity claim to this limit concept of validity in itself. Now, Habermas in his writings have tried to, this is a constant theme in it. He's trying to avoid contextualism without accepting old-fashioned universalism. So, and so he wants to make some sort of distinction between our actual claims and our actual acceptance of claims and claims in themselves and claims validity in itself, without succumbing to any substantial conception of validity. So he has tried to do it in various ways, but the constant theme is that he does want some sort of distinction so that he can avoid contextualism. He can embrace contextualism, but without abandoning universalism as such. So he wants to have his cake and eat it as well, and it is very different. It is very difficult. That's what he is criticizing Klein of. What he's saying is Klein has a concept of validity as acceptance of validity here and now, which is the only actual concept, but it doesn't have any concept of validity in itself. So he cannot avoid contextualism. Obviously, you can reply to Habermas in various ways, but at this point, I'm just trying to understand Habermas's critique of Klein. Habermas's critique of Klein and his motives as well. Okay, let's go back to the text. Okay, so by this you understand